Today we will practice some practice questions for nervous system. Make sure you already have a clear understanding of nervous system. You can watch my previous video, Nervous System Explained in 10 Minutes, for quick recall. Let's dive into the questions. Name the two major organs of the central nervous system, CNS. The two major organs in the central nervous system are brain and spinal cord. What is peripheral nervous system? The peripheral nervous system, PNS, is the vast network of nerves outside the brain and spinal cord that acts as a communication highway, connecting the body to the central nervous system, CNS. Nerves and ganglia are the primary structural components of the peripheral nervous system, PNS, responsible for transmitting information between the central nervous system, CNS, and the rest of the body. What are nerve types and what are their functions? There is 3 types of nerves. Nerves, types, and functions. Sensory or afferent nerves, which send information from sensory receptors to the central nervous system. Motor or efferent nerves, which transmit commands from the central nervous system to muscles and glands. Mixed nerves, which contain both sensory and motor fibers acting as two-way pathways. Almost all spinal nerves are mixed nerves. Keep this information in mind. It will lead you crystal clear to the world of nervous system. If you understand the types and functions of nerves, every action of human body will be so amazing to you. What is ganglia and what is nerve? Ganglia are clusters of neuron cell bodies in the peripheral nervous system, PNS, acting as relay stations. Soma, perikaryon. These are technical terms for the cell body of one neuron too, while nerves are bundles of axons, nerve fibers, that transmit signals. What can a receptor do? A cell receptor as a specialized locked door on the surface of a cell. Imagine this as a specific key, such as a hormone or neurotransmitter, floating around outside the cell. It works like a tiny detective or a sensor in our body that gathers information about the world and sends messages to your brain. They are located in our skin, eyes, ears, nose, and tongue. Receptor, detect senses. They find out what is happening around us, hot, cold, loud, soft, and inside you. Receptor turn information into signals. It take physical things, like light or pressure, and turn them into electrical messages. It messages to the brain. Once they find something, they send a quick message to our brain to tell it what's going on. Receptor keep us safe by reacting instantly, like pulling our hand away from hot stove or something dangerous around us if it can detect. The human body has 5 main types of sensory receptors that detect external and internal stimuli: photoreceptors, light; thermoreceptors, temperature; chemoreceptors, chemicals, smell, taste; mechanoreceptors, touch, vibration, pressure; and nociceptors, pain. These allow us to sense the world with specialized versions for sight, hearing, and balance. Touch detectors, mechanoreceptors, feel pressure, vibration, and soft textures. Temperature detectors, thermoreceptors, feel if things are hot or cold. This is in winter we feel cold, and in summer we feel hot. Light detectors, photoreceptors, located in your eyes to help you see color and shapes. We can't see in the complete dark. Our eyes need light. Our eyes don't make their own light. They only catch light that bounces off things. Complete darkness means there is 0 light bouncing around. No light, nothing for your eyes to catch. The rods. Inside our eyes are tiny helpers called rods that work in the dark. But if there is no light at all, even they can't see anything. Imagine our eyes are like little cameras. To take a picture, a camera needs light. When we are in a completely dark room, there is no light to take a picture of anything. Chemical detectors, chemoreceptors, help us taste food and smell odors. We cannot taste food without eating or putting it in our mouths, because taste requires chemical compounds to dissolve in saliva and bind with receptor cells in our taste buds. This chemical interaction creates signals that travel to the brain, and without the liquid medium of saliva acting on the food, the receptors cannot activate. While the tongue detects basic tastes, 80% of what we call flavor comes from our sense of smell as we chew. Though the specific 80% figure for flavor is a common estimate rather than an absolute rule. Smelling delicious food triggers instant hunger because aroma molecules travel directly to the brain's limbic system, which controls emotions, memory, and reward, bypassing logical thought processes. This activates immediate physiological responses, including increased salivation, gastric acid release, and insulin production, as the body prepares for digestion. Smells often evoke strong memories, example childhood comfort food, which immediately trigger appetite. There are two types of efferent, motor neurons: somatic efferent neurons and visceral efferent neurons. Somatic efferent neurons stimulate skeletal muscles for voluntary movement, such as walking, picking up an object, or waving your hand. Example, telling your arm to lift a glass of water. Visceral efferent neurons control involuntary muscles and glands, such as heart muscle, smooth muscle in the gut, and sweat glands. That brings us question, what is visceral efferent neurons? A visceral efferent neuron is a type of motor nerve fiber in the autonomic nervous system that carries signals from the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, to involuntary muscles and glands. Example is automatically increasing our heart rate while running or stimulating saliva production when eating. The involuntary motor neurons, they control things we don't think about, like your heart rate, digestion, and sweat glands. I don't have to think about how to start sweating in too hot. With this system, body will automatically do that if need to. Somatic neurons typically use acetylcholine to induce voluntary movement, while visceral neurons use both acetylcholine and norepinephrine to regulate autonomic functions. Afferent neurons will always carry what kind of information? Afferent neurons always carry sensory information, such as touch, pain, temperature, and light, from the body's peripheral receptors and organs toward the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. They are essentially the input lines that tell the brain what is happening in the environment or inside the body. Example, if outside is too hot, they will send information to brain start sweating. If my hand touches a hot stove, it will send my brain information to order my skeletal muscles to move my hand away from stove. A common question always comes to students' mind, is nerve exist inside the brain and spinal cord? The answer is yes. The brain and spinal cord contain nerve tissue and neurons, while the nerves, cranial and spinal, act as the cables connecting the brain-spinal cord to the rest of the body. Cranial nerves, nerves arising from the brain. Spinal nerves, nerves arising from the spinal cord. Peripheral nerves and ganglia, clusters of nerve cells outside the CNS. That's all for today. We will continue with more practice questions in the next videos. Parts 2 and 3 are coming in a few days. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helps you. Thank you.